Okay. All right, we're here. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the big show. It's your buddy Bruce here, traveling with Bruce, like the sign says up there. Welcome, all of you. How are you today? Nice to have you here. I got a photo here of the Homeric, the cruise ship or the ocean liner that I traveled with my parents when I was a very young lad in 1962. I was about 6, 7 years of age. We came across the Atlantic Ocean on this ocean liner built in Italy, the Homeric. And she lasted until 67. By 1967, she was now about, how old would she have been? About 15, 20 years. She might have been built in the late 40s, early 50s. But they were trying to renovate her, fix her up a little bit, because the ship had been converted from a cruise, an ocean liner, because by the time I was on it in 62, you could fly across the ocean starting in 59 on jets. By 67, when this ship was being renovated for Caribbean island kind of sailings, a far cry from her transatlantic days, she was 5 years older, and unfortunately, they were doing a lot of work on her, and the story goes that someone torching with a welder, something caught fire, and the ship was destroyed, was damaged beyond repair, and was salvaged. Now, the lore sometimes has been that ships accidentally catch on fire, and the insurance payout takes care of that. I don't know about that, but the Homeric was a fine ship, as far as I know, and got across the ocean safely. She plied the North Atlantic for a number of years, but she also did other sailings. I'm sure she sailed through the Mediterranean and the Caribbean and the Azores, but lost to history, unfortunately. Welcome all to the live show tonight. Nice to have you here. Jennifer and I, we have been here in Calgary, acclimating, is that the right word? Reacclimating ourselves back to normal here in Calgary. Some news for you folks, those of you who follow me. I had been talking to you about our next adventure, which we had been plotting for a while, and right up until a few weeks ago, we were still going for this. We were going to do a trip to Australia and New Zealand, and we were, excuse me, we have been discussing, the two of us, the possibilities of just how could this trip actually take place, and we really came up with a number of ideas here. One of which was to do a sort of a multi-stage travel thing where we would leave here, Calgary, and we would head over towards Los Angeles and grab a flight from LA to Sydney or to Auckland, New Zealand, or we would fly to Fiji on Fiji Air, spend a week to 10 days in Fiji, then fly from there to Australia, do Australia for 4 weeks, like a month at least, 5 weeks, and then New Zealand, possibly 2 to 3 weeks. We were even thinking of the possibility of a cruise from Australia to New Zealand. And then from New Zealand, perhaps back to the Fiji Islands, and then from there to LA. And then we would catch up with Southern California, where we generally spend our winters. And that would have been in about the end of March, and we would have been April and May in Palm Desert, California, where we've spent our last 3 winters. That was the big picture, with a lot of discussion in between. Well, all that's out the window. We really have had, I have to admit, I have had a tough time getting super jacked up about this trip. I've had a tough time with it. I've wanted for decades to go to Australia, New Zealand, be down under, But I'm having trouble getting all worked up over it. I'm just sitting here going, where do you want to go? You can't see it all, just like Europe, like Canada, like America. You can't see it all. So, okay, well, what will you see, and how long will you see it? And I just didn't want to go to New Zealand. Just like I didn't want to go to Sydney to see the fireworks show on the Sydney Bridge for New Year's Eve. That wasn't a bucket list of mine. Bucket list of mine would be to hang out in Sydney for a while and enjoy the city and its surrounding areas, because it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. How many zillions of videos can you watch on YouTube about the beauty of Australia, the beauty of Sydney, Australia? It's incredible. I was thinking of Melbourne, Australia. I was thinking of Tasmania, the island, as was Jen. Thinking about the Gold Coast, going up that's the eastern coast of Australia. Brisbane, that region there, heading north, maybe working our way perhaps as far north as Darwin. But we can't do that all. We can't do that. And we're not able or willing to travel like maniacs to see as much as we can, as fast as we can. That's over. That's 69 years old with this face and this deteriorating physique. I feel great, and I would love to. I'm very eager to travel, but I'm not interested in a hurry up and see this race for Australia. And I'm sorry, I'm not living my life to take 30-second videos, 2-minute videos at the most exciting places in all of New Zealand, come home and put a 2-hour video package together for you to show you that. It's just not my bag, because I don't need to travel for a living. I travel for pleasure, and I am working when I am traveling. And that's the other kicker that has changed my dynamic and our thinking here, Jennifer and I. I am working when I am traveling because I have 2 YouTube channels. And this YouTube channel is for pleasure. The other YouTube channel, Stock Markets with Bruce, makes all the money. So I have to be loyal to what, let's say, butters the bread around here and affords the travel in the first place. And I cannot just travel for 2 months and not do any work on the stock market channel for 2 months. That's financially impossible. And so I have a different outlook on traveling to a place like New Zealand and Australia. It has to fit my work schedule. I have to be able to, I'll adjust it somewhat, but it has to work for both the channel and for me. And it's not the travel channel that needs adjusting. Now, I will say, when I started this channel back in 2017, and this year it's going to be 8 years, 9 years, 8 years. In 2025, it'll be 8 years being a YouTuber. When I started being a YouTuber, I wanted to travel and take you with us. And we were going to be sort of, after a while, we figured out maybe we can be the older version of Kara and Nate. Kara and Nate are now 33 years old. They've been doing their YouTube work for 8 years. They started in their mid-20s. They have one of the most phenomenal channels on all of YouTube, approaching 4 million subscribers. They have traveled 110, 15 countries. I love watching those guys. I have been following them and watching them, and I am amazed and I am thrilled and so grateful that Jen and I have been to places they've been to in our travels. It's incredible. And sometimes what blows my brain is that these guys and Jen and I are within hundreds of miles of each other from time to time, as they do what they do and we do what we do. It just blows my mind, because I'm 69 years old, they're 33, and God bless the two of them. But it became obvious in 2021 when the stock market completely changed for many millions of people, and this device allowed people to invest in the markets like never before without a stockbroker. And you can do this from anywhere in the world. It allowed me to become a YouTuber about the stock market. And oh my God, I don't know how, but there are people out there, many people out there, who want to hear what I have to say about investing and are paying heavily and nicely towards my channel and existence. And Jen and I, our standard of living has completely changed in the last 4 years, from traveling nomads that we could have been without COVID to now pleasure travelers while working the stock market angle. I mean, it's just a completely different life. I had no idea it was going to happen. I had no idea it could happen. I had no idea I would have 2 YouTube channels and I would have 2 existences and 2 worlds happening like they did. But that's the way it is. And so there you go. I very much enjoy watching Dawn from Dawn Family Travels, watching Tony from Lolita Loca, watching Emily from overseas, from England, Lettice. Is it Emily? I'm sorry if I missed it. I'm Emma. Sorry, Emma. My goodness. Sorry, Emma. I'm so tired. I have to admit, I am really tired tonight. Busy day today. Anyway, I so enjoy my fellow YouTubers and the travel YouTubers that I was a part of. The cruise, ship, news, traveling person that was part of that travel family. Now, those channels, they have all matured. They have all gone down the road like they should, like we would have. And they are on cruise ships all the time. And I respect them so much for how hard I know they're working. They are working their butts off to put videos out on YouTube as much as they can. And they're generating a living, and I'm thrilled. And I want them to make a lot of money because they've put a lot of effort into their channels and their podcasts and their Facebook pages and their Instagram work, and on and on and on. They're all younger than Jen and I, and they're all much more internet savvy, computer savvy. And as you well know, I am useless when it comes to technology. I'm amazed. I've gone as far as I've gotten to be here doing this. So, I had to say goodbye to that world back in 2021. And of course, COVID kicked a lot of us back badly in 2020 because we were all stuck at home. But it turned out for me to become the greatest one-off change in my life, because I became a stock market channel guy. And I'm actually being paid oodles of money from all this experience that has been in here since 1979 that I couldn't get a dime for until 2021. Here I was, a retired ex-investment person running a travel YouTube channel out of a town called Creston, British Columbia, town of 5,000 people, trying to get that channel up and running to see if I could live off of it. And I did. It generated a revenue. And many of you who are here all the time and who've stuck with me now for years and years, made contributions to this channel from time to time in your own unique way, getting merchandise, literally sending donations. Kept us going, kept me running, kept me expanding. But unfortunately, COVID upended all the apple carts in the market, and it sent me theoretically. I had to fish or cut bait. Was I going to be a YouTuber at all? And if so, in what way? And that's where the stock market came in, with all this knowledge just sitting there. And I had no idea when I started Stock Markets with Bruce that channel would evolve to what it has become, and totally transform us completely. So there you are. We're not going to Australia in January of 2026. However, we are going to Australia. We do want to go to Australia. Sorry, January 2025. Sorry, coming January. I'm skipping years here in my head. We are looking to go to Australia and New Zealand in 2025, but we are thinking of heading to Australia and New Zealand in lieu of our 4th consecutive year of going to Europe. We've done Europe 3 years in a row, 21, 22, 23, 24. I had to think for a minute. And we were thinking, well, maybe we'll go to Europe next year, but really where? It would have to be somewhere completely different. But Scotland is a big thing for Jen. She wants to see Scotland, but on a slow trip. And she said to me, why don't we go to Australia and New Zealand in August, September, October of this fall, summer, fall. And we'll go to Palm Desert, California from January till May, where we love to be anyway. Let's grab a condo, Bruce, rent a Tesla, and enjoy Palm Desert for 5 months. And then come back here for a good chunk of the summer, and then we'll head to Australia and New Zealand. And that allows Bruce to plot a trip together this next several months to figure out how are we going to get there. We're going down under. It's going to happen. It's just later. Stand by. I'll keep you posted. Okay, so there you go. So with all that said, and all that just discussed with you, something else is happening and that I want to share with you, because this is my chance to just freely discuss what's on my mind. It's a live show. You've noticed I haven't put up a video on this channel other than last Monday's live show. I haven't done anything in a week. And I will tell you that on Saturday morning, I was up at about 6 a.m. I usually get up at 4:30 in the morning. I got up at 6. I had my coffee going. I came schlepping into this studio of mine. And I sat down and I was thinking, well, today, Saturday, I'm going to make a video for Traveling with Bruce. After all, it's been weeks. And I sat here and I thought about what I want to do. And I've had some thoughts about a video or 2 or 3 about the trip we just did. And I'm yawning and I'm yawning and I'm yawning. And I'm realizing you, sir, might be awake at 6:30 in the morning, 7 in the morning. You're having your coffee. You are conscious. You're sitting in the chair in front of your computer. You're in no condition to make a video of any kind for any purpose, including stock markets. You're not even going to do anything for that channel. You are doing nothing this weekend. You need to recover from 10 weeks of travel that has a cumulative effect. The time changes, going and coming back, the stress of it all, and the fact that you've just resolved a big stress item, which is, are we going in the first week of January to New Zealand and Australia? Because it's like early November now, and we haven't booked anything. That's all off the table. We booked a condo. We booked our flights down to Palm Springs. It's all done. And so down goes the stress level. It takes days, it takes weeks. And so I thought, I've got to, if I'm going to make any video for any of my channels, it's got to be my best effort. And I've got to want to do it. I'm not going to force myself to do something I don't want to do, because now it'll show to my viewers that he's not into it anymore. Just can't have that. So that is why you haven't seen anything. However, I have news for you today. I have put together a number of clips that I'm about to go over with you about the behind-the-scenes tour that Jen and I took in Hamburg at the Miniature Wonderland Museum, the world's largest model railway museum, and everything else on top of that, which, modern railway is not even fair anymore. This miniature museum is so beyond being a miniature railway museum. When I say those words, miniature railway museums, there are people going, oh God, I don't want to see anything about trains. I can tell you right now, you're not going to see very much about trains at all. What I'm going to show you here in a few moments has almost nothing to do with trains. It has everything to do with everything else, including some of the most unbelievable model building that you can imagine. It is just stunning to me. And we've been 3 years in a row, Jen and I, we've been 3 years in a row to this place in Hamburg. We go to Hamburg, Germany for one thing, to see the miniature museum every time we go there. It's the only reason we go to Hamburg. We haven't been to a museum. We haven't gone shopping. We haven't walked around the waterfront. Nothing. We've done nothing but the miniature museum 3 years in a row. And we know that in the next 5 years, it'll be 30% larger than it is now, if not more, and will be completely rebuilt from the logistics of it again because of AI, artificial intelligence. What's going to happen there and what's going to happen to the planet as a whole is going to blow your mind if you're 60 and over. If you're 60 and over, you're going to go, I can't believe it. If you're 80 and over, you're not going to understand it. You're going to be skeptical about what's coming up. And if you're 30 to 50, you can't wait. And if you're 0 to 30, the world is your oyster if you accept the modern world we're about to enter. Anyway, I'm going to show you some neat, I think, really cool stuff about this place. And I haven't got all the clips loaded. I can't load all the clips in this format that I'm in right now with StreamYard. It won't work. Anyway, there you go. But first of all, let's say hi. And thank you for saying hi to me. Thank you for these thumbs ups you're already hitting with me, hitting up on my channel, and greetings and everything else. Robert Mailhawk, as always, how you doing, buddy? Welcome. Wes Morrison, what a wonderful surprise to see you here tonight. Welcome, sir. Roger is here from Jacksonville. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is Wes Morrison territory, Green Hall in Texas. I'm pretty sure I still have this thing. Thank you, buddy. Roger, I took a Viking River cruise, my first ever cruise in southern France. Oh, I'd love to know what you think. Hang on, Wes Morrison. Roger, I've done a Viking cruise on the Rhine and the Danube. Kevin and I are out tonight. We'll catch you next week. Thank you, Sharon. Roger just got back from a Princess cruise to Mexico, first as an elite loyalty, free laundry, and a comp bar setup that I just gave away. Sharon, I was number 10 tonight. Wes, sorry, I could not make a meet and greet in New York City. My wife developed breast cancer, so I could not make the meet and greet. It's okay. Priorities are priorities are priorities. Roger, I'm trying to set up a family trip to Canada, Rocky Mountaineer next year. That will be something else. Number 15, thumbs up. Debbie Emmanuel, hello there. So sorry to hear, Wes, about your wife. And Donnell in the house. Hi, Debbie. And yes, sorry, Wes, to hear your sad news. We do hope for the best. Donnell, thank you for joining us today. I don't know if you were here next week. You probably have seen this already, but I wanted to show all out there, including you, of course. There is a photo. That is Donnell. And yours truly, having a bite to eat. We had a wonderful visit with him in Cork, Ireland, Jen and I. Jen took this photo of us, and look at the background there. The Queen Mary II docked there in Cork, Ireland. It was a perfectly beautiful day in Cork, Ireland. I took this from the ship earlier in the day, and the church steeple in the background there, just absolutely fabulous. Donnell, we so enjoyed seeing you. Jen and I, we were so thrilled to get together with you. We have tried for 2 years to see this guy. Finally caught up with Donnell. The next trick is going to be get on a ship with you down the road. Anyway, this is fantastic. Thank you for joining me tonight. Glad you're here from Cork. I know it's late. Debbie, hi, Donnell. Love seeing pics with you and Bruce. We showed those off last week. Roger, we started in Lyon, France. 189 passengers out of 190 capacity. So one full riverboat. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had good weather for it all. And thank you. Anything you can share would be great. Fantastic, sir. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you all for being here and joining me today. Cruise news, I don't have much for you, honestly. I have not been digging through. There was a story about four people being rescued by a cruise ship because their catamaran was taking on water. Good news there. There was a story about the Explorer of the Seas that I did find interesting because Jen and I have been on the Explorer of the Seas in rough weather, and this ship was in very rough weather, trying to come across the Atlantic from, I guess they left Spain, maybe they left Barcelona, coming to Miami, and they were towards the Azores, and they ran into some really bad weather, and the ship listed terribly a couple of times, and there were injuries and damage and all kinds of calamity, and the ship had to turn around And I don't know if it went back to Spain or not. And I'm not sure what ended up happening. Did people get flown home? I'm not exactly sure. Honestly, I have not dug into this information very much at this point. Donnell, sorry you missed the first message, Bruce. Donnell, no problem, and I'm glad you're here. I may be caught. You may have done a message last week and I missed it. You're so kind, Debbie. It was a great day, especially for me. He says, "Yeah, we had a great time." All right. Well, anyway, that's the story about that explorer of the seas. Jen and I were on that ship in a vicious. What do they call that? What was that? The bomb cyclone or? We had a winter storm come up from the Carolinas up the East Coast while we were heading from New York south to get to the Caribbean, and we had to go right through this monster, and it was a bad 36 hours. It was not good, and now I understand these folks didn't have a good time either. I'm not getting on that ship anymore. Of course, now that I've been on the Queen Mary 2, I've been on a real ocean liner. If you're going to cross an ocean of that kind, you want to be on an ocean liner that is built for this stuff. The Explorer of the Seas is a cruise ship, and it's good for 20-foot waves, but 30, 40, 50-foot waves, you're going to be tossed around and you're going to be doing all of this stuff. Not a fun time. Anyway, that's the story. Yeah, other than that, I really don't have any cruise news for you. If you've come here for existing up to the minute cruise news, other than depressing news of ships having dry dock issues, I'm not surprised to see a lot of dry dock stories coming out right now where ships are being forced to cancel cruises and they have to go into emergency dry dock because during COVID, a lot of cruise lines almost went broke and they stopped everything and they literally canceled dry docks. And now we've got the fallout. Here we are 2 years after dry dock. Every cruise line is in debt up to here. They've cut back services all over the place, especially the cheaper lines like Norwegian, we hear all the time. Carnival, we're hearing like you can't believe. Costa, nightmares on Costa Cruises. MSC, cheaper passengers, unhappy. High-end passengers, they're okay. All this kind of stuff. And more ships are showing up with technical issues, generator problems, and other issues, and cancellations left, right, and center, emergency dry docks to repair ships. This is going to be years of this stuff. If you're thinking of a cruise going forward, I would suggest you go with a 5-star cruise line and pay the extra money, number one. And number two, even with that, stay on the newer ships or ships that just came out of dry dock in the last 2 years. You cannot take a chance with a 25-year-old cruise ship that hasn't been in dry dock for 7 years. You are on a rust bucket that is rattling and rolling and has all kinds of internal problems that you can't see because the fresh paint was put on the outside of it. You've got to be on technically brand new vessels, maybe a year old or older, because the first 6 months, brand new ships have problems. And certainly dry docked ships within the first 2 years, 3 years, that's where you want to be. Otherwise, you're gambling that your cruise will be canceled at the last minute. Now you're screwed because now what are you going to do? You're supposed to be on holidays in 2 weeks from now. You found out you've lost your cruise. They might be able to put you on another cruise, but they might not. And now you've put all this money in and you might not get a credit. You might only get a half credit and a half refund and on and on. The nightmares. You want to avoid the nightmares. Anyway, there you have it. Roger, first trip to southern France, highlights Avignon, 14th century Pope's Palace. Bruce, Debbie wants to know, have always wanted to ask you this, even meant to when got a chance to meet you. Do you refer to your wife as Jen, even when not on the internet? I have a couple of nicknames for that gal of mine. We have a lot of fun together, as you've probably noticed when you met with us. But we do get a kick out of the fact that she's anti-Jen. We have a lot of fun with that. But I will spare you the other names because she has names for me. But usually it's more like she looks at me and goes, "Hey, you," that kind of stuff. So you can imagine. Donnell, I sent you a great to see you back on YouTube again message tonight. Thank you, Donnell. That's a good question, Debbie, laughing out loud. Roger, last stop was Arles, Roman ruins, and Van Gogh Museum closures. Most people took the Nice what is it? Took the something after cruise extension. We took an A en Provence after cruise extension. So you got to really do France. That's fabulous. That's beautiful. That is the way to do it. The wrong way to do a river cruise is fly in the day before to the nearest big city, somehow get to your river cruise boat, get on it, take your 10, 12, 14-day ride, and then the day of departure, head to the nearest airport and fly back to America. Wrong on every level. Absolutely incorrect. You really want to get over there. I would get over there a week before, but then again, I have time, I guess. And I would stay at least a week after, at least, and really enjoy this, and because might be a once in a lifetime opportunity. But I understand that there are dollar considerations and time considerations for working people and everything else. Paul Romero, I'm booked on a Carnival Greek island cruise next year out of Rome. Don't know if you've ever been on that itinerary or in Rome, Italy, but I'm looking forward to the cruise. Thank you. I've been in Rome, but only on a cruise ship visit on a tour. And it does make me want to go there, definitely. Jen and I, we've talked about this. I am really keen on Italy, really keen. She's not so much, but she understands. I think I'd enjoy this. I told her how much our daughter and I loved it. We were in Naples, Rome, Florence, Pisa, Calgary, I can't even pronounce it. Yes, definitely. Yeah, I definitely want to spend time there. Kirk Brunson's YouTube and Facebook channel. Hey, Bruce and TW family. Kirk from New York is here, and I'm working tonight. I'm here. I'm watching you. Thank you, Kirk, for being here, and thank you all for joining in and popping by. How are you? It's nice to see you. Let me show you some footage of the behind-the-scenes footage and some in front of the scenes footage of going to Hamburg to the Miniature Wonderland Museum, the world's largest miniature display. It's just unbelievable. I cannot. I've tried desperately to emphasize how incredible it is over the last 4 years of being there, 3 years anyway, and I can't do it. I can't do it. So I'm going to let the video speak for itself. Maybe that'll help you. This first clip you're going to see is right at the beginning of our tour. There were about 8 of us, maybe, a tour guide, and he had like a microphone on his thing here, and he was talking to us, and we were wearing, I think we were having headphones, and we could hear what he was saying to us, but it was all in German, so I had to translate to English for Auntie Jen. Oh yeah, we had little ear pods or something. Anyway, as we started the tour, we started to go behind the one display area, the secret corridor in the back, and he was telling us that there are cameras everywhere watching people who are watching the displays. The displays have cameras everywhere, making sure everything is working because things are moving everywhere. And there are cameras behind the scenes watching us on tour. So behave yourself and don't try any funny business behind the scenes. So pretty cool. So here's the first camera that we ran into that was filming us as we were doing this tour. And this is all being done in a very lighthearted way, humorous way, and a lot of fun. That's our guy there on the right with the shirt on. And he's telling us there are people here. One of them's watching us and filming us right now. That's actually a working camera. And I'm zooming in on this guy. There he is. There he is. He's watching us. That's actually a camera there. And we were just starting to head into the back behind where all the trains are going, and buses and cars and planes and hot air balloons and gliders and cable cars and oh God. So here's number 2, the first behind the scenes peek at the trains that you don't get to see if you just buy a regular admission ticket. Look at the layers here. This is underneath a working display. These are levels of rail track. Look at them all. The 10, 12 tracks. That's level 2 with trains on it. This is level 3 with more trains on it. And these go around in circles and between displays. There's level 4. And all of these levels have wiring, electricity, lighting, and are all computer generated. Oh, and for fun, they built a little tunnel here for us to look into. As we come up to this, you'll see here in just a second. Jen's pointing at me. Look at that. Look at this. So I'm just arranging my camera. I'm going, oh, the public can see in here, and we can see in there at them. And then we're coming out of the display area, and look at this. They don't even notice us. These people don't know we're there because they've got so much to look at. They're completely mesmerized by the levels and the intricacy of these models, and these moving trains, and the apartments with their lights on. And every 20 minutes it gets dark and becomes nighttime for about 7 minutes. Then it becomes daylight again for 20-something minutes, and then it gets dark again. And all the houses and castles light up at night. The trains have lights. And the passenger rail cars have lit passenger rail cars in there. It's just mind-numbing. Then we went to another area behind the scenes where they have all these electric vehicles, all these fire engines and transport trucks and ambulances and passenger cars and you name it, driving everywhere, all over the place. Well, these are vehicles that need to be charged up like a Tesla. You got to charge up their batteries. They took us to a part of the display where the vehicles get charged up. So I'm going to show you this. See if you can see this here. Just bear with me. This is loading up, I think. Here you go. This is a vehicle coming in that has cars on top of it, a car transporter coming into a battery charging station. There you go. It's putting its lights on. And those two green things there are going to slowly begin to squeeze in. And those are electrodes. And they're going to charge up the battery inside this vehicle. And look at each side. You see these other vehicles already. Some have been charged up. Some are being charged up. And you see these stations here. There they are. That green thing is squeezed in now. That vehicle is now being charged up. And I will pan back, and you'll see how many at a time are being done. And each vehicle is being brought here by a computer. There are computer programs running all of this. And these vehicles are coming from different parts of the displays all over this one floor we're on. And there's got to be 7 or 8 different display areas. And as we move on here in a moment, I expect this to be, I'm expecting this to zoom out. Am I missing something, Bruce? Did you miss something? Bruce, did you screw this up? I don't believe it. Oh, no. I may have screwed this up because you don't get to see the other end of it. You get to just see this thing arriving. This table is 20 feet long, left to right, and there are 40 vehicles being charged up at the same time. It's just unbelievable. I thought for sure I had this clip figured out, but obviously Bruce the idiot did not have this figured out. This is very frustrating. There's the best view you're going to get of all those vehicles. I apologize. I was certain I had this done right. All right. The next clip I'm going to show you is the airport, and I hope this works. This is the airport. It's nighttime, and my guide is showing a flashlight. He's flying a flashlight at this Bumblebee aircraft that is getting ready for entry a little later on, and I'm desperately trying to figure out what's going on. Here's a jet underneath the runway that is going to be taking off a little later on, and here is the actual runway where now I'm standing up at night beside the runway showing you this thing, and there's a plane getting ready to take off over there, and in the background are all these folks. There's got to be 50, 60 people back there waiting for the plane to take off. Underneath, there's all kinds of activity going on with the wiring and the computer program stuff. Nothing is touched by hand. It's all done mechanically, all done electronically by computer. Here is this airplane getting ready to take off down the runway. In the background, you can see vehicles going back and forth. Some of those vehicles you saw being charged in the charging station. They're the airport vehicles going to the various planes at the various hangars over there, the various gates. And all these folks are watching, waiting for this plane to take off. And here we go. Any moment now, I promise you, this plane is going to take off, and this video is running. The guy with his flashlight is showing us this plane's getting ready for takeoff, folks. Get your cameras ready. And you'll see how long this runway really is inside this miniature Museum. You see that one piece of the airport on the left, on the right, but on the left behind those folks is the majority of the airport. It is absolutely massive. And here we go. I promise. I promise. I promise. It's coming. No, 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 you can't be serious. Oh, that's right. It's on this clip. Sorry. Here it is. This is the clip of the plane taking off. All right, here I am underneath. I think I'm doing this right. Oh gosh, no, I'm still screwing this up. I am having problems with this video tonight. This is a plane getting ready to come in for a landing. This is the beluga whale. This is the plane that Airbus has that flies airplane fuselages around from one factory to another. And this plane is going to go through that curtain and land on the runway in front of everyone because the other plane has already taken off. You'll see this here in just a moment. I hope you see this because I've been 0 for 3 so far. Here it is. It's being recalibrated. Here it goes. And through the curtain, it will go. Come on. There it goes. There it goes. It's going through. Go, go. There it is. It's coming in for a landing. And there it is. It's going in for a landing on that runway. It's incredible. If you see my videos from last year, you'll know what I'm talking about. I've taken videos from the audience side. This is the control center where all these geniuses are sitting here, monitoring a zillion cameras, all kinds of different displays across this entire thing. There are hundreds of cameras and sensors everywhere, if not thousands of sensors, monitoring everything. There's that Bumblebee plane getting ready for its debut. It's about to enter either landing or taking off. It's getting set up over there. Just amazing, this behind the scenes stuff. You could spend an hour standing here. You can walk around a kind of a 180-degree walkway behind these people, and you can look in through a glass thing to see what they're doing. It is just stunning. Going to Monte Carlo is another neat thing because that opened up this year, Monte Carlo, for the first time. And notice that you remember that plant that ate people? Do you remember that movie with Steve Martin and other actors? There's one of those plants there. This is Monte Carlo. The Monaco Grand Prix is being held here, and I didn't know there was a humanoid eating plant in one of the condos. But what do you see at the Munich Museum? You see a lot of different things. You see folks standing around, and we're waiting for the race cars to come around. And here are all the condos, and you can look at every floor and see what people are doing in there. Here come the race cars right here. They're just going around that hairpin turn back there, and then they're coming around this area here, going underneath that hotel near the front where they come out the other side where the swimming pool is, and here they go. Each car is separately run by a computer program, and underneath the car, they are being moved by moving magnets that turn off and on that slide these cars along. It is absolutely stunning to see this, all of this stuff. It's insanity. Here's another video for you of this area. This is where some of the yachts are hanging out. Some of the big yachts that you can come up real close to and get a view of. Pretty cool bean stuff. And then you'll see the harbor, and then you'll see the downtown area there. And there's the hotel the cars go under, and you see some of the cars going by the swimming pool in the background. Look how far back this thing goes. This is massive and is so complex. It's in a 3D way. You can walk around it, and you can zoom in on the balconies of these condos, and you cannot see it all. You stand here for an hour. You did not see everything. You have to cave, and you have to give up and realize that you're only seeing some of it. At night, the daylight changes to nighttime, and now all these condos in Monte Carlo light up, and you can look into every one of them, and it's different. Each one is different. I didn't have time to view these thousands of different condos with all these people in it, and all these things going on in here, and all the people in the grandstand, and the people down by the ships, and oh my gosh, you cannot possibly see it all, and you can be here for hours and hours if you want. It's just instant. And then remember, there are 25 other displays. You don't want to stand. Do you want to stand here? Just this one? You could, but I mean, there's 3 floors of these displays everywhere, and there's just there's a snapshot there, just a frozen frame of people in the background looking at a mountain and pointing at it, and then here in the foreground you got the young boy there with maybe grandpa and dad pointing at this condo here, and then you see the hotel in front of us down there. That's the Fairmont Hotel. I think it's $800 a night to $1,000 a night minimum in real life. Then a background here, there, it's just amazing. Here's one more clip for you. Just one more. Here's the famous area where the cars come around the swimming pool after coming out of the hotel, and you can watch this all on television. These are the miniature cars on TV with the people watching them on the hairpin turn, just like you would on real television. Or you can just come here and watch it for yourself and watch these cars come down here. Here they come. Here's a car coming around the turn. There's the boats in the water there by the front. There's the folks on the grandstand over there watching. Here comes a car around the pool. Here we go. There you go, coming around here. And there's pit lane there, and it goes around. Here comes some more cars behind it. And then these guys go up the other lane right over here. They go up this way, up towards the casino. Absolutely amazing. You can stand at various venues here. And those cranes you see there, many of those actual cranes actually have cameras on them. And that's where we get the footage from. And so what they've done, which is utterly fascinating to me, what they've done here is they have placed cameras where the real cameras are for the televised show that we see every year, the actual race. They have cameras placed at exactly the same place that the real Formula One is recorded from in real life. So you can stand there and look at the screen up there. You can watch a flat screen TV and actually watch the race that's happening right in front of you in miniature, with 16 of these different cars running all independently of each other. The race has a different result every time. They do so many laps, and then they put the cars back at the starting position, and then they run the next race, and I believe it changes every time. You don't know who's going to win each race. Unbelievable. The technology here is so above and beyond what most of us can fathom. I remember as a child, slot cars. You remember slot cars? You could run one race car, maybe 2 race cars, and each had their own lane, and you got around and around. Remember Hot Wheels? These cars are not independently operated by a human being. Every vehicle that you're watching moving around here, and every thing you see moving here, is being done by computer, not by any human beings. I'm just rerunning some of these clips so you can get another look at them. This particular ship here, the top lifts up so you can see underneath what the ship looks like inside. Unbelievable. I couldn't get enough of this place. It's been 3 years in a row. And I think Jen and I were around this display for 20 minutes. 20 minutes. You cannot possibly see this in 20 minutes. It's incredible. It is just absolutely amazing. And if you're a child, you're blown away. If you're an adult, you're blown away by what you're looking at. You cannot believe what you see. And again, this video right here with the rail tracks underneath the actual displays, where you see 8 or 10 or 12 actual rail lines with trains on 7 or 8 of them. This is nothing compared to what I've seen. I have more and more clips showing spirals of track, spirals that are 10 feet high. And there are trains going around the spirals, going up to level 6, and then off they go, and they end up underneath here. And then they end up on the actual display that you're going to see in a moment. They go from room to room. They go from display to display. They'll go from one end of the track to the other, out of sight. There'll be 25 trains down here, all one at a time will come out to the public right here, that they'll get to see them at various levels. Look at the number of tracks you see that they see. They're looking at 15, 20 different tracks all over the place, with the trains running here. Some are chemical trains, some are passenger trains, some are just you name it, and all kinds of vintages of trains, the trees, the castles, the some are, you're showing trains that have electrical lines above them, even though they're not connected to the electrical line. Unbelievable. You're never gonna see it all. It is truly a one of a kind place that I've talked about for 30 minutes. There you go. To go into this place is 18 euros. Admission fee for an adult is 18 euros. It's an all-day pass. Stay as long as you want. The tickets, however, are dated and timed when you can come in. So if you come in at 8 in the morning when they open, or 10 in the morning, or 12, the sooner in advance you book your ticket, the more choices you'll have as to when you can book your ticket for. So Jen and I book months in advance, 8:30 in the morning, 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, first thing, to get there and stay as long as we want. There is a cafeteria inside this building, and you can buy a beer, wine, burger, fish and chips, sandwiches, cake, coffee, tea, and sitting areas that look like the inside of rail cars, dining cars. Fantastic. There are baby change stations. There are phone charging stations. You forgot to bring your charger? No problem. Your phone is running out of juice? No problem. You can charge your phone for free. They can handle any kind of telephone. No problem. They know this problem exists. So have a coffee, have a sandwich or a piece of cake or a beer or whatever, and for 20, 30 minutes, let your phone charge up, no charge. And then get back out there and go and see Rio de Janeiro. Go and see the Western USA, including Las Vegas, at night with all the lights. Go see Switzerland, 3 stories tall, Switzerland, massive room. Go see the Vatican. Go see Venice. Go see the Spanish countryside, Rome. It is no end to. I can't name them all. And then there's the places under construction. It's unbelievable. I have another video that I want to make for you from the miniature museum that has to do with the Berlin Wall from 1945, the end of the war, until 2000 or 2024 even. Unbelievable. They have these specific dioramas, one for 1 year, one for another year, one for another year. Every 5 to 10 years, another image of the same location in Berlin as it changed over the decades, through the Cold War, through the Berlin Wall, the fall of the wall, and today. I have a video to make of that. It's going to take me hours, and I've got to be rested to do it. And well, I'm old and I'm tired, so you got to give me a break. But thank you all so much for being here. It's great to see you all. Let's just double check here on any other comments if I've missed any of your comments. Thank you all. Thank you all. I love these questions that some of you gave me. Roger, first cousin on the train trip wants to attend the Calgary Stampede. Any suggestions? Oh yes. You'll want to come down. You want to be down for the whole thing, including the parade. Parade Friday, I believe it is. The parade is on the Friday at the beginning of the Stampede. It's a 10-day event, and you're going to go to the Stampede grounds where they have all the rides and all the displays and the rodeo itself, and you'll get tickets for that, and you'll want to watch the chuck wagon races. But you'll also want to go to downtown Calgary on a morning or two, where they have Stampede breakfasts being run by all these corporations that will bring the chuck wagon drivers in with their wagons, and they give away a free breakfast every day. There is so much to do. I would look up videos about the Stampede and come on in. And if you're here for like a week or 10 days, you're going to be in Calgary for 2 or 3, 4 days and enjoy that. Then you're going to rent a car if you can and head to the mountains, and you're going to Banff, and you're going to Lake Louise, and you're going to see what are those called? The world. Uh, uh, natural places that have been preserved for the world. UNESCO. Oh my God. UNESCO World Sites in the mountains, an hour from Calgary, hour and a half from Calgary. You're going to tell them to spend a couple of nights in Banff and enjoy that region. You're going to be blown away with that, the beauty and the majesty of the Rockies. And if you can, if you play it in a big picture kind of way, you land in Calgary, you do the Stampede first, you head for the mountains, and you drive your vehicle all the way to Vancouver over a week and spend 3 days in Vancouver and fly home from there. You get a taste of Western Canada and get a handle on just what the heck is out here. It is very difficult to describe. You have to see it for yourself. You'll be blown away. It's July. It's the longest days of the year, warmest days of the year. Fascinating place. That would be my recommendation. As one. Another one would be come to Calgary and then get a day to go to Drumheller, which is east of Calgary, about an hour and 20 minutes. And you go to the Drumheller, the Museum of Dinosaurs, the real thing, where they are digging up the bones to this very day. The Badlands of Alberta. That's a World UNESCO site as well. Worth your day. And to drive for an hour and a half through prairie land, flat as a pancake with farms everywhere. Beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. Small town Alberta, worth your while as well. There you go. There's a couple of thoughts. Hope that helps. Thank you all so very much for watching tonight, being here live. Those of you watching on this rerun, I hope you enjoyed all the videos about this miniature museum in my amateurish way, trying to show you some videos. Hope you enjoyed them. Thank you for visiting with us again this week, and those of you giving us thumbs ups, much appreciated. Have a wonderful week coming up, everybody, and get ready for your next trip adventure, whatever it might be. Thank you again for 20 thumbs up so far from 20 viewers. Not bad. I know this video will get hundreds of views over the week. It usually does. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you again for your support of this channel and your support of my other channel, Stock Markets with Bruce. I'm going to get some rest now. I'm exhausted, and I'll get ready to get up tomorrow morning at 4:30 in the morning to get on the other channel, follow what's happening since the election with the stock markets. Oh my God, things going on there. It's insane. Thank you, Robert. We'll see you tomorrow morning too. And all of you out there who watch both of my channels, thank you again for all your support. Have a wonderful week. Donnell, take care of yourself, and all the rest of you. Safe travels to all of you. We'll keep you posted on our travels. We'll see you again next time. Thank you all. Goodbye for now.